I used for about 17 years. I sold drugs. I didn't really have any steady jobs, even though I did go to college. So I kind of just ran out of people to manipulate, situations to manipulate, and I had started using heroin towards the end, and that just kind of was a completely different demon than I was used to. So it just really brought me to a place where my life was unmanageable. The anxiety and the depression was just intolerable. The suicidal ideation, and I say like the spiritual pain that I was in, because that's not how I was raised, was just really at an all-time low. So I talked to my sister, and she helped me get into treatment. That was August of 2014, and I've stayed clean since then. So basically I went to Gateway for 21 days. I was in their adult stabilization unit, and I don't know, there was just something about my willingness to do whatever they told me to do. I listened to my counselors. I was very honest in group. I started to become open-minded to ideas that I previously would probably have completely shut out. They started teaching me about 12-step programs, and I started reading the literature from those programs. And whenever they asked me, about aftercare, what I was going to do, I literally had no idea what I was going to do, other than, I literally believed that if I went home, back home, that I was going to die. So I just decided, what do you guys recommend? And they started talking about going to a halfway house, and I was not keen on that idea whatsoever, because I was like, halfway house, criminals, I don't want to live with a bunch of criminals, I'm trying to get clean. And they were all people just like myself, a lot in the same predicament as me, didn't have anywhere else to go. That really gave me an opportunity to focus on myself, get the proper medication. I had a therapist that I worked with. We had groups every day. They made us go to meetings, getting a sponsor, getting a home group, because it was a level system. So you had to complete so many things on this level to get to the next level. And it really helped me rebuild things in my life that would have been probably 10 times harder had I tried to do that while working and that kind of thing. So it really just gave me the opportunity to focus on staying clean. I am what's called a life skills counselor, and I work at the same halfway house that I went through 3.5 years ago, which is the Tom Rutter house. At about a year clean, I started volunteering there. I would go every other Wednesday and Saturday, and I would sit with the patients, and I would just talk to them and just kind of hang out with them. And every once in a while they would let me run a group, and I really liked it. So I'm taught to do service and give back and help other people. So that was kind of part of it, but also I kind of wanted to see if I did do this, would I even like it? So it kind of started there, and then it made me want to work there even more. I waited till I had some more clean time, and I kind of just applied for a couple different positions, but I didn't have a car or my license when I got clean. So I worked on getting my license, I saved up for a car, and I bought a car in July, and I started working there in September. So it wasn't too long after I bought a car that a position opened up, and I used to work with the youth across at what's called Ramsey Hall, and I worked there from September until about March. And Then I started at the Rudder House April 9th, I think it was my first day. And I love it. Like, I love working with the patients. I love learning from the clinical staff because I'm starting school at Geneva. I got accepted. I was supposed to start in January. It didn't work out, so I'm starting in August. And I just decided to do online. So I'm basically finishing my degree and then probably want to go on and get my master's in counseling or something like that. I mean, being able to give practical experience versus theory advice, you know, that is something that is very important. You know, it was important for me because I don't really like to hear about theories and things like that out of a book. It's like one addict helping another. That is like, I used to be in your, like, literally in their same seat because I have my old counselor's office. So I'm like, I was like in that exact chair right there in this room. And it's very powerful. And they do, I think, have a certain respect for me, just knowing that that's where I came from